Welcome everyone. I'm so glad once again that we're gathering to practice together. Like I said in the introduction, I just invite you to consider thinking of this practice as the opening of the heart. And what I mean by that is we can carry a lot of heavy emotion right now and a lot of additional stresses and concerns. And oftentimes that is a collapsing in the chest. It's a closing down of the heart center. This is our emotional area, right? So we're going to just have that feeling of opening the chest and letting go as best we can, at least for the next hour, and balancing out our autonomic nervous system while we do that. So we're going to start with our pranayama. So please take your time. Find your comfortable seated position or lying on your back, whatever is the most comfortable place for you to just go ahead and center in on your pranayama, your breath work. Now do know that as we go through class, and take whatever movement you need while you're getting settled in. Do know as we go through class, I may pause. You can continue on. I may show different adaptations. So take the one that's right for you. So go ahead now, as you close your eyes, find that place where you feel comfortable, and take a moment just to draw your conscious attention right to the base of your head and your neck. We're going to let our chin just soften until about parallel to the floor if you're seated. And of course, if you're on your back, you're going to drop the chin in towards your throat. I want you just to feel the muscles of your neck let go. And as you do so, feel your shoulders roll back. And then just see if you can bring your conscious attention down to the heart center, right there in the center of your chest. As you pause there, each time you take an exhalation, just imagine that anything that's been weighing on you, anything, just allow it to softly wash down and away from you. As though it's just washing away like a gentle wave. And let yourself soften through that heart center. Feel the shoulders soften back. And then I invite you to draw your conscious attention down to your down to your navel. And we're going to start with our diaphragmatic breathing. So as you exhale, you're going to gently draw the navel in towards your spine. And as you inhale, just allow your belly to release back out, trying not to move your chest. With each exhalation, you just gently draw the navel in toward the spine and feel your belly softly let go. We want our diaphragm to begin to soften. Each time that you're following this breath, remember, your diaphragm should soften down in toward the belly when you take your inhales. And when you take your exhales, your diaphragm should push up toward the rib cage to get the carbon dioxide out of the lower lobes of your lungs. So we're just pausing here. As we do this, we're also beginning to stimulate that parasympathetic nervous system, which is the calming side of our autonomic nervous system. Remember, it's what slows our heart rate down, our blood pressure, allows our immune system to work better, releases DHEA in the body, and balances out our cortisol levels. See if you can just soften through your hips as you do this. Noticing if you're gripping anywhere in the hips, gripping anywhere in the shoulders, the jaw, and just try to let everything soften. What about the space in between your eyebrows? See as you follow your next exhalation, if you can just allow the softness to continue down through your legs, making whatever adjustments you need in the knees. And of course, as you move down the legs, when you get to the ankles, the tops of your feet, your toes, making whatever adjustments you might need to be comfortable in your joints. And as we move through class, know that that's the most important priority, whether it be your wrists, your shoulders, that we practice ahimsa, non-harm, and we make modifications to never create stress in an unhealthy way. We're going to invite our breath to deepen, and we're going to move into Dirshwasam, a yogic 3-part breath. So if you'll take a nice slow exhalation, on your next inhale, you're going to allow your belly to soften out again, but continue the breath up into the rib cage and then up and behind the collarbones. And as you take your exhalation, just gently draw your awareness down the body until lastly you feel your navel fully draw in. So with each inhale, it's the wave up through the body. And with each exhale, it's a wave back down the body until lastly you feel your navel fully drawing in. As you do that, notice the breath passing over the back of your throat. We're going to go ahead and create our Ujjayi breath, which is like an ocean sound in the back of the throat, for those of you who don't know this one. It's almost like you're going to fog up a mirror, that kind of a sound in the back of your throat. Or you can use the mantra Sa with each inhale, Ha with each exhale, just silently to yourself. And you'll feel that vibration in the back of the throat. Now see if you can just slow your breath down. Begin to count the duration of your exhalation. Focus on working toward a 5-count exhale. Obviously, you want to stay at a comfortable place where you're not going to make yourself feel dizzy with your breath. Some of you can make a deeper than a 5-count exhalation, and if that's the case, go right ahead. You don't need to be concerned about your inhalation. That's going to happen naturally. You're going to begin to have a fuller, deeper inhale as you create a fuller, deeper exhale. I do invite you to notice when you take your inhalations, be mindful to allow your rib cage to expand out and lift up. So the breath isn't just coming straight up into the heart center area, let's say. You're allowing the rib cage to expand out, allowing the breath to expand into the back of the body. So we're going to continue with our pranayama, and we'll continue with this wave-like effect of our breath. Now you may find that you're going to adjust it to a little shorter breath, but whatever is comfortable to keep it long, slow, and smooth. We're going to move into Nadi Shodhana, the alternate nostril breath. So if you'll take a nice slow exhalation and just close off your right nostril with your right thumb. As you inhale, breathe in through that left nostril only. At the end of your inhalation, you're going to close off with your ring finger, whatever's comfortable for you, and slowly exhale out this right nostril. When you finish your exhalation, you'll breathe back in through your right nostril. So just find your rhythm of breath. And at the end of your inhalation through the right, you'll be closing off with your thumb and slowly exhaling out the left side, which is going to complete that round. And I'm just going to invite you to breathe in again and start your next round. We're going to move back and forth like this. This time, as you follow your inhalations, see if you can take your conscious attention away from your throat. See if you can just feel the coolness in the back of the nasal passage as you're inhaling. And as you're exhaling, see if you can notice maybe the warmth of the breath. Maybe, maybe not. But see if you can notice this gentle pause of your breath at the end of your exhalation and again at the end of your inhalations. So you're not rushing the breath. Allow yourself to soften. Allow your shoulder to soften, your jaw to relax, the space in between your eyebrows to release, your hips to soften. Remember, as we breathe through that right nostril, we're impacting the left hemisphere of our brain. We breathe through the left nostril and we're impacting the right hemisphere of our brain. And we're having an impact on our autonomic nervous system again. We want to bring that autonomic nervous system into balance, our bodies into a place of homeostasis, which means our body can function to its fullest. We can have that feeling of being calm and centered, yet alert. And I invite you to let yourself finish the round that you're on. So if you're just barely inhaling on your left nostril, take your time to finish that round. When we find ourselves coming back around to exhale out the left nostril, once you get there, you're just going to float your hand down. So no hurry, it's important to just let yourself finish your round. When you find yourself exhaling out your left nostril, just allow your hand to come down in some restful place. Let go of any control of your breath and just witness what your breath wants to do. Notice any after effects of your pranayama. Sometimes we feel a little more calm, a little more in our body, not so much in our head. Whatever it is for you. Throughout our practice, we're going to be focused on the breath. And you can keep your eyes closed right now if you're comfortable with that. If you're up on a block, those of you lying down, please bring yourself up into a seated position. And if you're up on a block, you're going to want to take yourself off of a block. Find a place that you're comfortable in your legs and reach your arms out until your middle fingertips touch the floor. Most people are most comfortable in Sukhasana, where the ankles and knees are more lined up. But if you have problems with your hips or your knees, you might want to sit with your soles of your feet together. You might want to have your knees bent. So pick a place where you can have an extended spine and you cannot be putting any stress in the joints. So if you'll roll your shoulders back, eyes closed, if you're comfortable with that, chin parallel to the floor, take an exhalation and just feel your navel drawing in. Turn your palms up, and as you inhale, you're going to lift your arms very slowly, reaching the shoulders up to the ears, hands together. And as we exhale, we're going to slowly bring the hands back down to our heart center. We're going to keep the chest lifted, and we're just going to allow the chin to soften in toward the chest. We're going to do 2 more of those. Think of making a nice, slow 4-count inhalation. Let your breath create the movement. Feel each part of it. Feel your rib cage reach up and away from your pelvis. As you exhale, notice the rib cage beginning to soften down as your navel draws in and just the chin softens in. When you finish your 3rd one, everyone has a different rhythm of breath. So don't feel rushed. All you're going to do is you're going to pause at your heart center. So the hands will be resting right in the center of your chest. Palms are together. You're going to allow your chin to soften in towards your chest. We're still focused on those full breaths. Something, again, not making you dizzy, but just expanding and bringing oxygen into the body as we impact the nervous system. We're going to bring the palms, where the back of the hands now, are going to be together, and our fingertips are going to face down toward the floor. I want you just to stretch your wrists here for a minute. We're going to curl our thumb into the palm of our hand and try to wrap our fingers around our thumb, and then gently let go. See if with each exhale you can pull your belly in and slowly wrap your fingers around that thumb, and then gently let go, one finger at a time. The next time that you open your hand, pause there. We're going to take a deep breath in. We're going to exhale and keep our hands in this position. Push your hands out away from you and curl your fingers back towards your body. Pull your belly in like a C shape and let your chin soften in towards your chest. Now, as you inhale, flex your wrists back. Tilt your pelvis forward. You're going to reach back and you're going to expand right through that heart center. As you exhale, bring the back of the wrist together, pull the belly in. Chin is going to soften down towards your chest. Let your breath create the movement. As you breathe in, see if you can just breathe in the feeling of openness. And as you exhale, let go of anything that's weighing on you. Breathe in. If there's a particular word, peace, calm, whatever that kind of helps you feel that sense of softening, then breathe that in. We're bringing blood flow into the neck, the shoulders. We're opening the spine, the front and the back of the spine here. So I'm just going to invite you, when you come back behind you, take your hands and turn them. I'm going to turn so you can see. Turn your hands toward your buttocks and just lift your chest up. You can have your legs in whatever position. I just changed mine because I just turned. The arch is coming through your heart center area, across the shoulders. You're stretching down into the biceps and a slight stretch into the tricep, but mostly into the bicep. Your chin can be lifted if that's comfortable to your neck. You're not letting your head hang back. You're lifting it, but if that bothers you, you just keep your chin in. As you breathe in that feeling of openness, or whatever words you may have picked. Exhale and have that feeling of softening. So we're going to take one more deep breath in. When you go to take your exhale, bring the soles of your feet together. So you'll be with the soles of the feet together, knees wide apart. Lift the knees, reach through your legs, and softly allow your head to drop into whatever degree is okay for your body. As you take exhales here, I'm going to invite you to sink a little deeper. Maybe your knees will begin to fall open toward the floor. You're not forcing. This is very much about letting go. So let yourself soften. We're just allowing the hips to release. We're allowing the low back to let go. And those of you who can drop your chin all the way in towards your chest, please do so. That will allow you to release through the neck. But if you have vertigo, those of you who have vertigo, you may want to keep that head up. So listen to whatever is right for your body. See if you can feel your inhalation now expanding right through the back body. And as you exhale, pull your belly fully in. We're going to take one more nice full exhalation. And I want you to stay there for just a minute, still focusing on the breath, but think of Mula Bandha here. Mula Bandha is a lift of your pelvic floor. It's engaging your pelvic floor. Engage your pelvic floor here. Now lift, Mula Bandha is lifting the belly up and toward the rib cage. So you're not pulling the belly in and gripping. Think of lifting. So lift both of your bandhas, and then when you take your next inhalation, lift your chest up and just slide your hands back. That supports your back as you move in and out. So when we move out through class, consider that when we're folding forward and we're lifting up, be aware of your bandhas. So we're going to come to standing. We're going to take our feet wide apart. Unfortunately, I don't have any of you guys here to say I'm doing my rights and my lefts wrong. So if I happen to say right and you know I really meant left, you better listen to yourself and go with that. So I apologize in advance. We're going to warm up the legs. We're going to exhale over to one side, and we're going to slowly inhale over to the other side. Now your toes should be turned out in this position, because as we lunge, we want to have our knees and our ankles lined up. Some of you can be more comfortable letting the head hang down and the hands to the floor. There's no right or wrong, except that you want to be sure you're following your breath and you're slowing your breath down, and that you're connected to what you're doing. Otherwise, sometimes our mind can be off somewhere as we're just moving. So really draw into the breath. We're going to do the warm up the body through the warrior series, which also works the balance, as well as the legs, the back, the shoulders. Let's come to the center of our bodies, and you might find that you're going to be shortening your stance a little bit. We're going to squat down and allow our fingertips to maybe touch the floor. Some of you won't be able to touch the floor, and that's fine. Bring your hands to your heart center. Lift your chest so you're coming straight up. You're going to inhale and push right through. Exhale and contract. Now inhale, round and reach out. Head's going to drop in. You're going to turn to your left, pivot both feet, and reach your right hand out, left hand behind you. So you have a twist of the body. Inhale back to the center, lunge to the right. Left hand is out, right hand is behind you. We're going to inhale all the way up. Exhale down. Inhaling up again. And exhale. Inhale, open wide. Exhale. Inhale back. And exhale. Remember, you don't have to have your heel off the floor. You're going to inhale up. You can just, but what is important is that you pivot on both feet. Exhale down, so we don't twist our knee. Exhaling. Inhale, open wide. So as you pivot here, you can keep your foot down and just stay up higher if you'd like. Inhale back. So you choose what's right for you. We're going to inhale one more time. Exhaling. And if your breath does not line up with mine, just find your own. What's important is you just stay with your breath. To the left, stretching right down the right side of the back here. And stretching down the left side. Inhale up. And we're going to exhale to our heart center. I'm going to ask you to step your feet hip bone distance apart and check that your feet are going straight out. Close your eyes. Stack your shoulders over your hips. Roll your shoulders back. Turn your palms out and away from your body. Focus on your breath. As you exhale down the body, let go of any gripping that you might have going on. Just soften. In Tadasana, this is called Tadasana. So when we're standing in Tadasana, we're allowing ourselves that opportunity to train the body to stand on its skeletal structure. So we have less joint problems, less muscular issues. It's also a great place to pause if you feel you need a rest and you're doing a standing pose, because you can stay centered on your breath. So we're going to open our eyes and we're going to step to this side of the mat, to the left side of the mat, and we're going to step back. No, I'm sorry, we're not going to step back. We're going to do a balance here. So if you will, come up onto the toes of your right foot and bring your hands out. So you're in this type of a position here, but on the end of the mat. I'll turn that way in a minute. You can either just hold here, or some of you might be able to lift your foot up off the floor. Some of you are going to be lifting up and down just to keep your balance, and that's okay. Some of you will be able to hold, and some of you will be able to extend the arms. So I want you to play with it. No judgment. Remember, ahimsa means no judgment toward yourself either as you're doing this. It's a practice. You're just training the body to be with what it is today, focusing on your breath. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, bring that leg back down. Soften into your Tadasana. So we're going to do the same thing now. We'll lift that knee up. We're not going to hold as long. And then we're going to step straight back with that leg, and we'll find ourselves in Virabhadrasana 1. So if you'll lift the leg up, or maybe the toes just on the floor, whatever works for you. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, just bring your hands down to your waist. Step back so that you can have your front knee bent and the knee and the ankle are lined up. We're going to straighten that leg and bend back in to see how deep that you want to go. You can always slide your leg back farther, but you want to make sure your knee isn't going past your ankle, and you want to be sure that your hips are squared off to the end of the mat. It's not over here. So you don't want your foot sideways. You want your heel toward the back of the mat. That protects your knee, remember? So we're going to work on that heart opening again. So I'm going to invite you, straighten your leg, take your arms up, cross your arms over your chest. So you're in this kind of a position. What I want you to notice here is your upper back, right behind your heart center area, in between your shoulder blades. We're going to be contracting and expanding to bring blood flow into that area. So take an exhale here. Feel your belly fully dry, and your head can drop down, but your shoulders are not dropping down. You're going to inhale and draw your hands back. You want your elbows and your wrists in line with one another as you lunge gently forward. Exhale. Cross over. Now remember, as you inhale, you want to be sure that you're not having this effect. You want this effect. You'll feel a much greater stretch across the chest. So just move in and out of that. Exhaling with the straight leg, inhaling, opening through that heart center. As you exhale, have that sense of letting everything go. Inhale, that sense of peace, openness, calm, whatever it is you've picked for yourself that you really need in your life right now. So as you come forward your next time, pause here, turn your palms toward one another, and extend your arms straight up. Now, soften the shoulders away. If for any reason this bothers your shoulders, you can certainly bend the elbows. You can bring your hands to your waist. Practice ahimsa. You want to challenge yourself to a comfortable edge, but not to where you're creating too much gripping or pinching. Slow, deep breath. Exhale your awareness all the way down to your right back heel. And as you inhale, bring your awareness up to the tips of your middle fingertips. Remember, you can always move out sooner if you need to. Just stay focused on your breath if you do move out. We're going to take a deep breath in. We're going to exhale and straighten our leg and let our hands come down to our waist. We're going to move our left foot over toward the right because we're going to keep the left foot out at a 90-degree angle, and we're going to pivot on our back foot so that our right foot is parallel to the right side of the mat. You're going to bend into your leg and see that your knee and your ankle are lined up, just like we did in our peace yoga that we were doing. Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Bend and straighten a couple times so we can get blood flow again into this inner thigh area. We're going to come into Virabhadrasana 2, and I'm going to invite you to pause then with your legs. Turn your right shoulder over to the right so that it lines up with your right hip, and extend your right arm out. Now, turn to the left, keep the shoulders right where they are, which is a slight twist of your upper body, and extend your left arm out. Soften your shoulders down and away from your ears. Softly gaze over your left middle finger. Now, if you have any shoulder issues and you can't get your hands up the same height, you want to gaze and see if the hands are the same height. Sometimes with shoulder issues, maybe one can't get up that high. That's okay. Do what you can with it. Notice the inner thighs. Perhaps you can soften through your toes, but yet as you exhale, activate your inner thighs and lift up on Mula Bandha, and then softly let go. Remember practicing ahimsa if you need to move out. We're going to take a deep breath in, and as we exhale, we're going to straighten our leg. We're going to turn this left foot in and line up our toes. So we have both feet now where the heel and the baby toes are lined up with each other. We're going to inhale and reach way up. As you exhale, we're going to swan dive. So if you can bring your hands straight out, hinge from your hips. You can bend the knees for those of you who need to. If you have any back issues, please bend your knees. Sometimes if you're just too tight, where you have a problem bending and you can only get so far, bending the knees helps tilt that pelvis forward. Let your hands just come to the outside of your legs, wherever your flexibility is, and then focus on your breath. As you exhale, just softly let go. Maybe you can let your head swing from side to side. Maybe you can shrug your shoulders. Maybe you want to bend and straighten the knees a couple of times to let the blood flow come back into the back of the legs. Once you've done all that, I'm going to ask you just to find your spot that you're going to pause in. And now we're going to just focus on breathing here. Soften your toes. As you inhale, see if you can shift your weight slightly forward into the feet and internally rotate your inner thighs. As you exhale, imagine like a waterfall, you're coming from the tailbone, softening all the way down the spine to the crown of your head. Each time you inhale, a slight internal rotation. Each time you exhale, a softening, a letting go. Even relax your jaw. Giving ourselves the opportunity to release through the hamstrings, which also releases through the back of the knees, down into the calves and to the Achilles tendons, which some of you that deal with feet issues, it all is connected. And then we're getting the chance to decompress our spine here. And focusing on those slow, deep breaths is helping that autonomic nervous system move you out of that fight or flight response, where all that cortisol is in the body. Take one more nice, slow exhalation, and then just slide your hands up to your waist. Bend your knees like you're going to squat, just dropping the knees, and activate your core. Drop your tailbone so you can feel your core engage, and lift your chest parallel to the floor. Draw your elbows back so you can feel your heart center open. Softly drawing the shoulder blades in toward the back. Take an exhale. When you go to inhale, lift from your heart center. So you lift the chest first. And as you stand up, bring your chin down towards your chest. Soften your arms down alongside your body. Roll your shoulders back. Exhale down the legs and just softly release through your toes. If you need to stand your legs close together and take a break in Tadasana, please do. You can always step your legs wide apart again when you're ready. Now just slowly lift your head, open your eyes. We're going to turn your right foot out. So find that alignment again. Really important to get your heel lined up with the arch of your back foot, because that's obviously where your balance is going to be. So first we're going to bend and straighten. You can see as we're bending and straightening, our shoulder, this left shoulder, wants to turn toward the right, which is fine for right now. So now we're going to find that place where we can hold our position. We feel like our knee and our ankle are in line. We can see our big toe. We're not letting the knee fall forward. We're drawing back. Now, once you have all the foundation in your legs, take your shoulders and draw that left shoulder over to the left. Maintain that. Lift your left arm. Reach your right arm out. Softly gazing now over your right fingertips and connect to your breath. Slow, deep exhalations as best you can. And as you inhale, just let the breath lift up through the body. Each exhalation, feel yourself just softly letting go. And remember, you can always bring your hands down to your waist and just keep the legs going if you need to. You can also straighten the leg and give yourself a break if you need that. Remember that you can modify any of the asana part of it. I just encourage you to stay aware of your breath and keep your mind focused. We're going to take a deep breath in. We're going to exhale and straighten the leg. And just walk your right foot over toward the right side of your mat. Pivot your back heel now. So we're going to come into We're going to come into Vira 1 facing this right side of your mat. You want your back heel slightly turned toward the back so your toes are, maybe at a 10 o'clock position if you're on a clock around you. Bend into your knee. Make sure you're in the position that you need here as we move to do the same thing we did on the other side. Straighten the leg. Exhale and draw your elbows as far together as you can to separate your shoulder blades. Inhale, opening as you lunge forward. Exhale, pull in. Slow your breath down. Slow your movement down. Feel that opening through the chest with each inhale. And as you exhale, let go. going to invite you to pause the next time you come forward and lift your arms up into Virabhadrasana 1. Finding a place where you can just hold there. Soften the shoulders. Notice if your little fingers are gently turned toward one another so that you're not bunching up into your upper back. You can allow the rotation of the shoulders, the inner arms, to come in and broaden through the shoulders. We're going to take a deep breath in. We'll exhale and straighten our leg. We're just going to step up to the top of the mat again. Find your feet into that Tadasana position where you have the feet hip bone distance apart. Roll your shoulders back. You're going to stay on that end of the mat. And just pause. Chin is parallel to the floor. As you exhale, bring your awareness all the way down to your feet. Soften through the toes. And as you inhale, soften right up through the heart center, through the jaw, through the space in between your eyebrows. Exhaling any concern, anything that's been weighing on you. Inhaling peace, calm, stability, or your particular word. So I want you to get the rhythm of your breath because we're going to balance now like we did on the other side. So if you'll open your eyes, we're going to shift our weight into our right leg and we're going to come on to the toes of this left leg. So same thing, you can stay on that side, I'm just showing you. Same thing as you did before. Arms are going to come out and you can just gently lift the foot up. Maybe you're up and down. Remember, everybody's different and each side of the body is different, so be okay with that. Some of you can draw that knee all the way up with your arms extended. Find what it is for you. Non-judgment. If you're coming in and out, that's fine. When you're ready to follow an exhale, slide back into your Tadasana. Check that your feet are hip bone distance apart. Line the shoulders up over your hips. Let your chin become parallel and slightly drawn in toward your throat. And just turn your palms out. As you exhale, just open your eyes. We're going to inhale and reach our arms up and over our head. And then as you exhale, you're going to swan dive over your legs into Uttanasana. So you have your feet hip bone distance apart. You're going to let your hands come down. You can bend your knees if you would like. You can bend them a lot if you would like. Find what works best. If you have back issues, definitely bend your knees. If you're too tight in the back of the knee, bend the knee. Follow your breath. See if you can tuck your elbows in. I'm going to move over here just to show you. So instead of having the arms just out where the neck area is bunching, curl your elbows in and broaden through the upper back. Breathing there. Slow, long breaths. Feel the inhalations expand right up into that back of the heart area. As you exhale, pull your belly in. Imagine like a waterfall, everything just letting go. In fact, you can just let anything go that's been weighing on you in your life, as well as physically letting go. Take one more nice long exhalation and then bring yourself down onto your mat and into table pose. When you get into your table pose, your fingers are spread wide. You're going to tuck your toes under and press back and into a downward dog. Check that your feet are hip bone distance apart. For those of you who can't do down dog, move into an extended child's pose so you can still get the extension through the side body. Those of us who can do down dog, we're going to come into our down dog, take a nice long exhale. Then we're going to inhale into table. We'll lift our tailbone, we'll contract through our upper back, pull our chest through our arms, lift our chin, and then we'll exhale back and into a downward dog. I'm going to ask you to do 3 more like that. Those of you who can't come into that down dog, please feel free to just extend into that extended child's pose. When you finish your 3, we're going to continue with another 4, but you can either inhale and bring your chest all the way through your arms, for those of you who can, into a modified upward dog, and then exhale back into your down dog. Or come into the Tibetan 1, where we're right into that tight little V of our down dog, right onto the ball mounts of our toes, fingers are spread wide, and we inhale, lifting, having very strong legs, coming into a upward facing dog, pulling the belly in, exhaling right into that tight little V position. Like I say, you're going to do additional 4. And when you finish your 4, slide right in to a child's pose. And when you get into your child's pose, feel free to have your knees right together or have your knees wide apart. You can have your hands come down alongside your body and allow your shoulders to completely roll forward with your forehead rested. Or you can stack your fists underneath your head. You can also take a block, if you have a block, setting it underneath your head and breathing there. Making sure that you're not feeling too much pressure in your knees. If ever you feel like there's pressure in your knees, it's important that you modify that position. You can come onto your back and bring your knees into your chest. So I'm going to ask you to take one more exhalation, and then as you inhale, lift yourself up. We're going to move on to our back and continue a heart opening through our bridge pose. So if you'll bring yourself onto your back, place your feet, your ankles under the knees as best you can. It's more like your heels are kind of in that position. Tuck your shoulders underneath you. And I want you to feel this broadness once again through your heart center. We're going to allow our palms to turn up for just a minute. Tilt your pelvis back. As you inhale, lift up one vertebra at a time. You want to try not to turn your head when you lift up like this. Then as you exhale, slowly roll down. Try to get your core engaged so that you can let the low back roll into the floor and then down into the sacrum. And then as you inhale, turn your palms up. You can let your hands come wide if that helps you to come up onto the shoulders, broadening through the chest. And then as you exhale, roll your hands back in as you slowly bring the body back down. You also don't want your knees to fall wide apart as you do this. You're trying to press into the ball mounts of your toes, which helps keep the knee and ankle in alignment. You may find that you need to step your feet back up again as you're coming in and out. I'm going to invite you that the next time that you come up, to try to tuck your shoulders underneath you and hold there. Now, if it helps you to turn your palms up to do that, some of you can keep your arms straight and hang on to the hands. But if you find you have to bend your elbows to do that, then keep your arms straight. Breathing here, tilting the pelvis back and feeling you're strengthening the glutes here. You're strengthening your hamstrings, the back of your legs, but you're stretching through the hamstrings, opening the front of the spine and opening the heart center. With each exhale, let go. With each inhale, breathe in peace, harmony, a sense of calm. If you can take 2 more breaths here, go ahead and do that. Otherwise, if you need to come out, you're just going to ribbon down. Once you get down, just bring your knees into your chest. Place your hands on top of the knees, straighten the arms, take a deep breath in. Exhale, pull in from the belly and draw these knees in. At the end of your exhale, pause for a 2-count hold. Some of you can do the 2-count hold with the head lifted. Inhale and extend back. When you're ready to exhale, just pull the belly in. Head's gonna lift, 2-count hold. We're just re-stabilizing your back after the back bend. So once you have done 2 more of these, feel free at that point to either continue doing a few more if you'd like, or you can do circles with your legs. You can come into happy baby pose, either just grabbing the back of your legs and rocking, or hanging on to your feet if you have that flexibility. Everybody is different. The intention is just to release through your back. So you just make it comfortable for you, what makes you feel released through the back, and when you're finished, you'll be extending out into your Shavasana. So for those of you who might be new to this class, please feel free when you move into Shavasana, if you aren't comfortable lying on your back, roll a blanket underneath your knees so you can you can rest with your knees up, but your pelvis will tilt back. So you might need a couple of blankets depending. Sometimes just a little bit rolled under your knees is sufficient. Some of you might want a blanket under the head to be more comfortable. Tuck your shoulders underneath you, tilt your pelvis back, extend your legs out, and let your hands fall to some comfortable place. So take your time to find that comfortable place. I'll come into a seated position as I talk you through your Shavasana. I invite you to please close your eyes. This is the part of our practice that is more important even than the asana, especially with what we're dealing with right now. We need to bring ourselves back to our center and be able to calm our minds. And that's the advantage of Shavasana, to let all the energy settle, the muscles that you've moved, the ligaments, the joints, the tendons, the effect you've had on your visceral body, your organs. But now we're going to work on our conscious attention. So I just invite you, as you take your next inhalation, to draw your awareness right up to the crown of your head and pause there. As we've talked about before, this isn't an area we normally focus on, so it really takes our attention to focus there. Let yourself have a deep breath in, and as you exhale, bring your awareness down to your feet. And when you go to inhale, silently say hum, and bring your awareness back up to your head. And as you exhale, a silent so, down to your feet. So it's a hum with each inhale, a silent so with each exhale. Slowing the breath down. And each time that you hum down the body, just be willing to allow yourself to soften. Know that there's nothing to accomplish. Thoughts might come into your mind, and that's okay. If they do, just let them drift away like a cloud and bring yourself back to your breath. This is training our conscious attention and allowing the mind to empty. The thoughts aren't the issue, it's whether or not we get attached to our thoughts. As you hum down to your feet the next time, I just invite you to gently let go of any control of your breath. And we're just going to begin to witness the wave-like effect of the breath as it gently rolls into the body and it very gently rolls back out. Each time that that breath rolls out, just be willing to allow yourself to soften. Let yourself move toward a place of effortlessness. There's nothing to accomplish. You're allowing yourself to move into a state of ease. Each time that you follow your inhalation, notice this feeling of expansion, a sense of lightness that comes from us moving into a place of effortlessness, allowing ourselves just to be. And I invite you just to draw your conscious attention right up to the space in between your eyebrows, feeling that area just soften and broaden. Allow that softness to come over your eyes. And as you pause at your eyes, just let the muscles of your eyes let go. But let the softness continue down your face until you come to your jaw. Pausing at the jaw, just allow your teeth to separate and let your tongue softly move away from the roof of your mouth. As you do so, notice how everything is connected. Feel the softness that starts happening down through your throat. Follow the softness down the throat. Allow your awareness to bring that softness right over the collarbones, out to the shoulders. Pause your awareness at the tops of your shoulders. Feel your shoulders soften back and down, and notice how you're completely supported. There is safety in just letting go. And as you take your next exhalation, just allow a feeling of softness to gently run down the arms. Feel your elbows begin to let go. Feel your wrists soften. And allow the softness just to run down through the palms of your hands. And take the time to soften each one of your fingers, as well as your thumbs, so that you can just let go of your upper body completely. And as we pause here, Just allow yourself to witness the wave-like effect of that exhalation. Know that with each exhale, you're becoming more and more calm, more and more at ease. And I just invite you now to draw your conscious attention to your heart center. As you pause there at your heart center, we're going to move our awareness to witnessing the wave-like effect of our inhalation. And imagine each time you're following that inhalation as though the breath is coming right through your heart center. Breathe in a feeling of peace, a feeling of calm, harmony. Whatever the word is for you, just breathe that in and allow yourself to feel the expansion, that feeling of harmony. And I invite you to drift your conscious attention back up to the crown of your head. As you pause your awareness at the crown of your head, letting everything go. And when you go to take your next exhale, feel a wave of release coming down the body, a sense of letting go of anything physically, mentally, or emotionally, as it just waves down through your body until it runs right down the front and the back of your legs and right out the bottom of your feet. And just pause here for a moment as you witness the wave-like effect of your breath as the exhale comes out of the body. Feel that feeling of ease. As your inhale waves into the body, breathe in the essence that you need. And allow yourself to pause here and take in the peace that resides here. It's always here. It's nothing that we create. We just need to pause to take it in. Invite you as you're deepening your breath, bringing your awareness back into your body, to pause right where you are. Bring your awareness down again to your heart center if you would, and take a moment. Each time you take an inhalation, draw in a word that you need for yourself. And each time you take an exhalation, send peace out to your neighbors, your friends, your family, out into the world. And be willing to surrender into this experience that we're having. And I just want to share a thought with you by Eckhart Tolle, actually, about surrender. And you can rest on your back like that. You can roll on your side, whatever feels comfortable to you. It says, to some people, surrender may have negative connotations, implying defeat, giving up, failing to rise to the challenges of life, becoming lethargic, and so on. True surrender, however, is something entirely different. It doesn't mean to passively put up with whatever situation you find yourself in and to do nothing about it. Nor does it mean to cease making plans or initiating positive action. Surrender is the simple but profound wisdom of yielding to, rather than opposing, the flow of life. I really like that one. And I invite you, when you're ready, to bring yourself up into a centering position where you're just sitting in a comfortable position for just a moment. And right now, the more we can surrender into our situation and have a place where we're not resisting what's going on right now. It's difficult, there's no doubt about it. Some people are having financial problems, some are having physical problems. Whatever we're in, pushing against it right now won't help us. But if we can surrender in and keep our peace, move back into that center and let yourself feel the peace that resides there. And I just invite you, if you would, just reach your arms out. We're going to take a nice full inhalation, just slowly lift our arms until we find our hands back together in Anjali Mudra. We're going to lower down to our forehead just to remind us of those mindful thoughts, and at our mouth for mindful words, and at our heart center for mindful actions. And Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Have a wonderful day.